Hello and welcome to another Matura Express English stream. My name is Chris and today we're going to talk about text reading skills. So hello again, as I've already mentioned in the introduction. Today we're going to talk about text reading skills, as you see above me. As you can see above me, of course. Text reading skills, yes. So we're gonna start with a short overview of our today's stream. At first, I'm gonna tackle upon the topic of the importance of reading skills in an oral exam, since you have to do a lot of reading. Because you will be given an article about the topic you have picked, and therefore it is very helpful to know about different text reading skills you can apply in order to read the text in a faster way and also to get the gist of a text. So the gist is the most important things of an article, of a text. And then we're gonna talk about how to skim and scan a text and what does it mean actually. How to use context clues. Then we're gonna talk about how to take notes and express ideas in your own words. Always an important topic. And the last point we're going to discuss is practice and demonstration of reading skills. Okay, so the importance of reading skills in an oral exam. I've already mentioned that you will be given an article, and therefore it's very important to know a few skills that help you, that support you to scan or skim through the text and look for the most important information, the essentials of the text. Text reading skills in general help you to read faster, to read for the essential information, as I've already mentioned, to better understand the text or article. It also helps you to scan quickly through a text and maybe search for specific dates or numbers or names, and it also helps you to acquire different sub-skills. And now I'm going to talk about how to skim and scan a text. So what is skimming? Basically, skimming is reading for the gist of an article, paragraph or whatever you're reading, even a chapter in a book. So, and the gist is the general idea of an article. So if, for example, if you're reading about the war in Yugoslavia in the 1990s, for example, you might not want to get everything as a student, maybe, but you want to get the gist, what it was all about. And the same goes with articles concerning your topic. For example, if there is an article on poverty in Brazil that has been influenced by the World Championship, or for example, you don't want to know every name or every percentage or every time frame or anything else you want to know the main idea of the article, and so you can work with the article. It really helps you, I think, especially because you don't have that much time in your preparation time. You need the time to summarize the article, the topic, and therefore you shouldn't only focus about reading the article. And of course, what you can do is use the headline for your own advantage, which in some cases, of course, headlines are quite different from the article's main idea, but in general, the article's headline always give you some kind of an overview or the main idea of an article. So be aware to read the headline and consider it as a first step or first hint what's the article about. And also you use the topic sentences of each paragraphs to your own advantage, which normally in writing you use topic sentences to highlight the overall idea of a paragraph. So you don't necessarily have to read the whole paragraph. You just read, for example, the first sentence of the paragraph, which is the topic sentence, and then you just write down the topic sentence of each paragraph, and then you form the main gist of an article, which is skimming. Yeah, in this case I've provided you this link. Hope it works. Yes. In this case, the headline kind of tells you what the article, of course, is about. In this case, the positives and negatives of using social network sites. And if we now in this case, the paragraphs are quite short, but for example, this paragraph shows you some ideas. Cyberbullying can be a problem as people can take advantage of the fact that there is, hope you can read it, that there is no one who can effectively stop the bullying when it happens, due to everything being performed behind a screen. So just take this idea and write it down. Of course, in this case, the article is subdivided into positives and negatives, which makes it, of course, which makes it easier to categorize your topic and the article during your preparation time. Now, scanning. Scanning is actually opposite of skimming, and the goal of scanning is look for specific things. So if we go back to our school report article, and if we want to scan the article, for example, for, let's say, different numbers, so in this case maybe the percentage. We look percentage of something, I don't know, just an example. In this case we have here 37% of those questions had been left sleep deprived as a result of social networking, and 75% didn't like the idea of phones being kept close by while they slept. So now I've scanned the article, and maybe I want to scan the article about something really easy, the date, for example, 8th of April, or negatives. Where do we have negatives here? Negative effects, or anything else. If you have specific names or wanna search the article for specific dates, you use scanning and don't read the whole article. Just scan it. If you find any interesting numbers, mainly it is all about, normally numbers are quite common to scan, or years, dates, and in this case maybe if it's something political, which politician was involved, or in which country or something. In this case, if we look up One Direction to the Prime Minister, lots of people use social media sites. Yeah, in this case something is about the Prime Minister. So just be sure to use it for your advantage. You can easily learn it, so it's not basically a super difficult skill to acquire, but I think being aware of it really helps you to use those skills for your advantage. Yeah. And now we're gonna talk about context clues. So what are context clues? So basically context clues are clues that help you to understand a sentence or a text even if you don't know all the words. I think that's one of the most common issues that students have. You haven't learned your vocabulary, you should, and suddenly you don't know what the article or the paragraph or the sentence is about. One thing that can help you, although it doesn't mean that you don't have to know vocabulary, of course, is context clues. And I've provided you a few sentences. At first I'm gonna mention an example sentence, how context clues are used. So in this case, for example, when we talk about temperatures, we can use the frigid temperatures of today felt quite uncomfortable. When I came home into my warm house, I felt better. So because of the second sentence, you can already guess what frigid might mean, and there's just one possible way that frigid means cold, or freezing cold in this case. Other structures, for example, that use synonyms could look like the example, as the following example. It was supposed to be an infinite relationship, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to be with her forever. So in this case, we have a synonym. The first verb, or the first important verb, main verb here, infinite relationship. If you don't know it, you can just keep on reading, and then you're gonna stumble upon the word forever. And then you know that infinite must mean forever. So So very easy. We also use antonyms to use context clues, or with context clues basically. In this case, I've written down the sentence: her mother's jewelry is valuable to her, but he thinks it is worthless. So, two opposite words. Worthless is the opposite of valuable. In this case, if you know the word worthless, then the opposite can only be the verb the adjective you don't know. In this case, in the second in the second sentence, the infinite is of course also an adverb, an adjective. Then we also have explanations. Very easy, I think. Don't you open this bottle of beer, it is all shaken up, and it's going to rupture if you do so. In this case, you can really picture what was happening or what is happening, and the result of the beer being shaken up is that it's going to rupture. And of course, rupture, you might know the word, you might not know the word. In this case, rupture means just like explode or spill in a fast way, or yeah, you can imagine it. If you shake a can of Coke or a beer, it just ruptures. Yeah. Those are the things you should remember, actually. That's really easy if you are stuck, especially when you're nervous and you can't remember all your vocabulary you studied so hard for this exam. But then you're gonna remember my stream on how to use context clues, and then you think about, what did Chris tell me about context clues? And then you think all about the stuff I told you, which gonna help you, of course. And another topic I want to talk about is how to take notes and how to express your own ideas. Basically, note-taking is a very easy skill, but it can be acquired, or it should be practiced at least, if you're doing for example, summaries of texts or chapters, or even book summaries. And you can facilitate this skill by using mind maps, bullet points, highlighting, color codes, and abbreviations. So I think the first three are quite clear. With color codes or color coding, color coding means that you label certain aspects with different colors. So for example, if you have three aspects, or three aspects, for example, green labels or all names, yellow is for dates, and pink is for important any important information or something. Doesn't matter. You can, of course, come up with your own ideas. If you want to know more about color coding and abbreviations and all that stuff, check out our stream about note-taking skills. monologue and dialogue. It's very helpful, and yeah, helps you to use the preparation time for your advantage. And now we're gonna talk about how to express ideas in your own words. So basically, you think about the gist of the topic, and for example, in this case, I've mentioned the gist of the topic: pollution is how to best use alternative means that help us reduce greenhouse gases or carbon dioxide emission. This were in this case you don't repeat the article word by word, but you just paraphrase it, so express it in your own words. And normally it's helpful that you start with writing down words or chunks, so and preferably in English, and then you use those words and chunks to assist you in the monologue, since you are allowed to keep your notes in front of you and have a look at them, and then try to rephrase excerpts of the article in your own words, so that you don't only rewrite, or that you don't only copy the article word by word, but you kind of rewrite it and express it in your own words. And I think it's easy to practice, but it should be practiced. So just maybe use a shorter article that hasn't got that much information, and try to rephrase it or summarize it in your own words. Think about that you work in chunks, so in paragraphs. It's way more easier than doing the whole article. And yeah, I think that's a really helpful tool, especially for your preparation time, and that you pass the exam, the oral exam. It really helps you. And yes, I hope I could tell you some new skills you don't know about. And in this case, we already did the demonstration of reading skills. I demonstrated you how to scan, how to skim. If you wanna know more about it, comment on it, write a comment, ask us questions. We're gonna reply as soon as possible, and try to answer the questions, of course, in the next stream or another stream. So
we have a question.
We have a question.
Yeah. Julie, how much time do we have to
Prepare?
Yeah.
I think it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 20 to 30 minutes, I guess, yeah. So yeah. 20 to 30 must be it, yeah. Yes.
And if you practice it, it's enough, the 30 minutes preparation.
Yeah, I think 30 minutes is enough. So a 30-minute practice preparation time is really enough. And normally the exams last
15 minutes.
Yeah, so you have enough time. Of course, if you're not prepared, it might get a bit problematic, but normally if you're prepared for it, it's really easy to finish in time. Basically, you shouldn't have any pressure then if you have 30 minutes. Do you have any other questions left concerning the exams or concerning the topic? No. If you do so, don't hesitate and ask us. And we're gonna.
Here all night.
No, we're not gonna be here all night, but just ask us in another stream maybe, or write it down there. I think it's also, yeah, you're also able to comment after we've done the live stream. So if you're registered in YouTube, shouldn't be a problem. And subscribe, of course. Yes. So without further ado, I wanna wish you a very pleasant evening and have a nice week. We're gonna see each other on Monday. Goodbye.